Guess who's back? With some tea, of course.
Wear my shirt before she leave. I'ma need my shirt back.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianda. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. As you guys can tell from the title of this video, I'm gonna be sharing a story time about my toxic ex-roommate. This actually ended last week because she decided to move out, which, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But I'm coming from a place of just sharing my story with you guys, comedy. But I think these actions alone can definitely teach someone a lot about someone's true character and things to really look out for. But I just want to share this with you guys. I've been collecting the evidence. I have videos, pictures, everything in the moment of when I was in this experience. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because you're about to be sipping some tea. So grab your snacks, lay back, get ready for this video because there's a lot to be shared. So let's get started. Okay, so starting off, our toxic ex-roommate's name is going to be A, and another girl in this background story is going to be named K. All right, so long story short, when I got accepted into this college, I decided to go onto Instagram and see if there were any type of freshman accounts, and I found an account for freshmen to find roommates. So I submit my pictures, I put a bio, and of course I get DMs and people wanting to get to know me, but in particular, Kay is who added me on Instagram, Snapchat, and texted my phone number. So I was like, okay, well they came at me in 3 different angles. I don't know how to respond to, which. So I decided to do the Snapchat approach because I was like, that seems easiest for me. So she DMs me saying that she would like to be my roommate. I said, okay, let's get to know each other. And the first thing she does is sends me a link to a personality test. Now, I think that's a great intro. You want to get to know me offhand? Instead of you asking me weird questions like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite animal? Let's just get straight to business. The results came up with a bunch of letters and numbers, and when I sent her my results, she was like, oh my god, we're basically the same person. Yeah, totally, we'll get along. So this starts in June time when I submit my stuff and start talking to her, and we're talking basically the entire summer. We're getting along. It's getting pretty close to the point where I'm like, okay, well, let's be roommates for sure. So mind you, while this is happening, I attend a college event where basically they give us a tour of the campus, and this is when I meet A. So I only had a 5-second conversation with A, and she was already being extremely inviting, and she even tried to hug me with that impression of being okay, well, she seems really cool. Let me exchange socials with her. So I got her Instagram. We didn't text the entire summer after that event until one day she DM'd me on Instagram asking me if I wanted to be her roommate. To be so comfortable in asking if I want to be your roommate, knowing nothing about me, that's bound to have issues within itself. You have no idea who I am, what I like, how my living is, and you didn't ask. So of course I'm I'm already trying to be roommates with Kay. So I basically screenshot the message that A sent me, sent it to Kay, and said, hey, I don't want to be her roommate, but she could be our suite mate if you don't mind that. Pretty much Kay's yeah, that's fine. I text back A and I'm hey, I already have a roommate, but you can be our suite mate and you can just find your own roommate. So she agrees with that. I end up making a group chat for both of them, and comes to find out they have a lot in common. They're in the same major, pretty much have the same personality. I'm kind of oh, okay, well, this worked out better than I thought. Then this happens. Kay decides to send a message in the group chat saying that she can't be my roommate anymore because her dad wants her to be roommates with her cousin.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
We've been texting all summer. How are you now just figuring out that, oh, I have to be roommates with my cousin? Babe, you could have told me this way earlier instead of waiting till a week before we have to submit who our roommates are.
That's weird.
But this is when A then proposes the idea that we become roommates. So I'm like, you know what? There's nothing I can do now. I don't have enough time to try to meet somebody within like 3 days. So yeah, let's be roommates.
These are their stories.
So we're going to talk about the first red flag, which this is when she moves in and it's all about a fridge. Yes, a fridge. I move in a week before her because I have dance camp, so obviously I'm not going to starve myself for a week. I need food. So I bring the fridge that I had previously into the dorm until she moves in. And I communicated with her that, hey, if your fridge is the same size as mine, we can stack them. Or if yours is bigger, I will just put mine under my bed. And she was totally okay with that. However, when she moves in, her mother sees that my fridge is smaller and she's like, hey, why don't I just take your fridge back to my place and I give it back to you on Christmas break? And I'm thinking, no. That doesn't make any sense. I don't live near you. Why are you needing my item and why can't it just be under my bed? So I start bickering with this lady about the fridge, like my fridge, my property, what my parents bought me to use. A is not saying anything. Is she agreeing with her mother or is she just kind of like awkward? Like, it was just weird. I feel like I should not have to be arguing about my property and my items. And the fact that A didn't say anything to de-escalate it, I feel like, who's really in the wrong here? Like, thank you. Not good. Just, it didn't start off good. Now, moving on to incident number 2. This was an issue about me being on the phone. Now, I get it. A lot of people want relaxation time. Constantly hearing someone talking on the phone, I get it. It can be annoying at times. However, this was only the first week, and I actually only called my mom and one of my friends, which I noticed within the first week that, like, she wasn't really talking to me like that, and I'm not finna isolate myself, so if I want to call people, I want to call people. And I had a great FaceTime conversation with my friends, and when I hung up, she asked me, hey, can we just not do calls after 11 for relaxation and homework time? And I'm like, okay, it's only the first week. I don't see you doing homework. You have the TV on. What is it that is relaxation and homework time when you're being just as distracting as I am? Like, I'm lost. So all I had to say was okay because it was the first week. I wasn't fed up with her yet, but I already started seeing like certain qualities about her that was just like, I don't think we're going to get along very well. And this is the main thing that made things spiral out of control. So she would tell me to not be on the phone after 11, but she would be on the phone till like 12. And then I think to myself, is this relaxing? No, not for me, because you're talking on the phone, but I can't talk on the phone? Not you trying to give me a curfew.
Oh, hell no!
This is high school behavior, buddy. So I disregard the rule that she wanted to put in the room, and I started being on the phone whenever I wanted to because she was on the phone whenever she wanted to. And I guess as she started to see that, I wasn't going to listen to her rules if she was not going to follow her own. So one day I'm on the phone with my friend and she interrupts me midway in my conversation and it's like, can you take that outside downstairs in the lobby? Like, I just don't want to hear any talking right now. And I literally look at her and I'm like, I have my earbuds in, you have your TV on, and you're on your phone at the same time. There are so many distractions that you are causing for yourself that is prohibiting you from relaxing. So me being on the phone is not necessarily an issue. At this point, I'm like looking at her eye to eye. She's looking at me eye to eye. I'm like, I'm not moving and I'm not turning off my phone. Like, I'm not finna end my conversation. By the way, I can hear the TikToks too, so that's the distraction alone. Like, I can't focus in that type of environment. I can't focus. So that was very hypocritical, and I didn't appreciate that. But let's move on to incident number 3. This one is really juicy. So moving on to the third incident, this is dealing with how she wrote rules on the wall for me to follow. So This is probably a week after the phone call incident, and I came back from dance one day. She was not in the room, and I see that there's a paper with rules on it regarding what I should follow. So I'm reading these rules, and I'm like, no, you did not just try to tell me what to do. Half of these rules on here did not even apply to me. That's what was more frustrating. And then the fact that you lack communication and being able to stress when there's a problem. And then one of the rules in specific that caught my eye was her trying to accuse me of using her Brita filter. Why do I need to use your water? I was petty back and I wrote some corrections to her rules and saying, this does not apply to me. I don't use your Brita filter. I do take out the trash. And you don't study. You watch TV and then you complain about how I'm being a distraction. Nah, babe, it's you. I come back again one day and she's like, hey, like, let's have a conversation. And I'm like, yeah, we really do. Because the rules that you wrote down, that's not how you communicate. So yeah, let's have a conversation. It's just getting bad. But we actually had a meeting with the RA about some of the things that happened. There are some things that were said during the meeting that were just very hypocritical of her or very, contradicting to what actually happened. Overall, in those conversations, I want to say the main things that stuck out were the dishes situation, her being bothered that I was not telling her if I was leaving to go somewhere or what time I would be back. It just didn't make any sense. I felt like she was being my mother. Now, I get it. If we're close friends and I'm going out and I don't tell you where I'm going, you might feel some type of way, but we literally had 2 separate lives. Those issues being addressed, that she was getting anxiety, and she was also bothered by me not being able to check up with her on where I was. I'm not gonna engage with the clownery, so you can have the circus, all right? You can have the circus. I'm gonna tell you guys the last red flag that was just the straw for me, and I was like, yo, I'm thinking about moving out because this is horrendous. I come back from dance at around 8 o'clock and I see that the door is cracked, and I'm like, why is the door cracked? I come in, she's not in there at all, so I'm thinking, this is a safety issue. Didn't you just try to accuse me of using your Brita filter even though you don't know how to close a door? That locks by itself. All you have to do is close it. Literally, I'm like, okay, maybe she did it on accident. But then I start to think about it and I'm like, this girl has not come back and it's like 10 o'clock. The door would have been easy access to anyone for hours on end. And it's just unacceptable. So fast forward, I fall asleep. I wake up to the door slamming. It's 1 o'clock that this girl comes back. She didn't tell me where she went. She didn't communicate where she was at. None of that. And she comes back slamming the door, being disruptive of my sleep, my space. Hypocrite. Like, come on now. So I'm like, I gotta address this situation tonight. Like, I'm not gonna wait till tomorrow morning. I need to talk to her now. So she sits down, turning on the light too. I'm tired. The light, it's bright. I'm like, hey, I came in, the door was unlocked. That's a safety issue for you and I. You did try to accuse me of using your Brita filter. She literally looked at me and was just like, oh, I meant to do that. I was so tired, I just had to look at her and be like, and I took myself to bed. I'm done. I need to get out of here. So I meet up with the RA a couple of days later. I tell her about the situation. And she then tells me, oh, well, you don't need to worry because your roommate is planning on moving out next week. Oh, okay. And no one was going to tell me? This whole, moving out thing, I feel like if she is moving out, at least tell me so I know, right? So I communicate with the RA and I'm like, hey, that's totally fine. I don't mind that. However, can you do me the one favor I have of just letting me know when she leaves so I'm there to ensure that she does not touch my items or is in my space, right? I say that loud and clear to the RA. She says, okay. Fast forward to Monday, which was last week. I'm I'm changing, getting ready for a performance I have. This girl barges in with her new roommate, starts taking out her clothes, and I'm like, I'm changing and y'all are not regarding my privacy. What is wrong with you?
Don't come knocking on my door with somebody else who I don't even fucking know. And then I'm sitting there looking at you crazy, and you looking at me crazy, and they looking at us crazy because I ain't letting you in my goddamn house. Because you should have said, bitch, I got somebody with me. I can't stand for people to show up to my house with someone that I do not know.
I'm finna call you out. I said, hey, I'm informed that you're moving out. Thanks for letting me know personally. But can you just make sure to not touch the fridge or the TV because I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching my items. And I just would like the common courtesy to know when you're moving out to not barge in while I'm getting dressed. She literally is like, oh, okay. And then she leaves out. I don't know if she's going to listen to what I say. I have to leave. I can't wait here and try to see what she does. I come back at like 8 o'clock at night. I come back, everything is vacant. Didn't listen to a single thing I said. I go near my laptop, there's a nasty note. Look at this. Look at this. Harass? Girl, if you don't, I get this nasty note. I see all this trash on her side. I'm like, no type of respect. This is the cherry on top. Tell me why I open up my closet and the cleaning supplies that I had that were mine were gone. So not only did she disregard my comment to not touch my items, not be in my space, but to actually steal. You should have had no reason of being in that space. You should have had no reason of opening up my closet. And the fact that you thought that you were smart, you thought that you were doing something to steal some cleaning supplies.
You really thought you ate? Give me that fucking plate.
You know what? You need it more than me. Go clean yourself with that. However, the trash and stuff that she left, I'm not going to clean that up. I'm going to put it in front of your new door so you can clean up your own mess. Thank you. This story is definitely unforgettable, and I hope that you guys genuinely enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below with some requests or just your thoughts of this crazy story time. So, bye!